What is happening, people? Let's get into today. Obviously, yesterday there was nothing. I did walk through as well on Twitter, as well as in the premium. There was an idea to kind of get in a retracement trade here, but there ended up not being an entry. So realistically, what we're working with now is we're still in that bearish range. We've come into that decisional. I don't like this as a medium inducement. So it technically is a medium inducement. I just don't love it. So we are technically working internally this direction, but I still like this range a little bit nicer. So given that we have created that structure cycle to the downside, it does make things a little bit interesting in terms of this structure holds more than this structure, especially because it kind of continues with the external as well. So what we need to have happen is we need to induce something. Now for me, I think the first thing we need to induce is this low here. So what I'm looking at coming into today is if we look at kind of what's happened in here, I don't have this as a good enough medium inducement here. It did create a bit of a retracement and then kind of come down and induce and push up. But for me, it's just not enough. So what I'm looking at using this point is basically as a smart money trap. So this to me is break and retest, which may or may not be the reason. We could actually buy from here. I think it's less likely that we do. So for me, I want to use this to sell into. Only thing being is, like I said, I don't expect this point to hold either because we haven't done enough into it. In my opinion, this isn't a good enough medium inducement. It does create this structure cycle here, which means we're just kind of confirming ranges away from that. That was a medium inducement into this mitigation of the area. Obviously, it wasn't close enough. So there's multiple ways I'm looking at this. So first thing is I'm not expecting this to hold. So what we kind of want to see is a bit of a sell here through this point into a buy from this area here. Second option is we come up and we take this area to then sell into here, as I'll see that as an inducement into a mitigation of this area here, to then sell through this point, or to sell to this low to then buy through this point up here. So they're the kind of options I see. I don't know which one's going to play out, but I'm open to all of them. So I'm open to sells, I'm open to buys. Firstly, I'm open to sells. So sells off the take of this high is the ideal entry. I've got this as a good enough structure cycle away from this point. This to me is retest, so this shouldn't hold, and I'm looking just to sell through it. Okay. Once we've then sold and we're selling through this, understanding that this now is a valid medium inducement to me, which will give a medium inducement into the mitigation of this area, that's where we could get that buy up. So I'm open to both sides of the market and we'll just play as we go. So both sides I'm open to. Either it gives you that or you come here and you take that like that. So they're kind of the two options for today. But first of all, sells. I don't really want to buy through this area because I do have that as a valid structure cycle, which means that's kind of my first approach. We've created a valid structure cycle into this area here, which this is break and retest, and we've just like disregarded it entirely. So I need another medium inducement. I've still got this as basically my range. So what I'm working with is obviously you've got your bearish range, and then my other range is basically this range here with that as retest. It sits directly in here. I don't have any structure cycles or anything in here. So all I'm looking forward is the take of that to continue with this structure cycle through this point, or you can also get the take of this low through this point like that. So I don't like trading out of a decisional, but expecting it not to hold is a fly in here. I'm expecting this not to hold is kind of the main go. So they're the two options. GBPUSD, we have now come into this area of decisional. I don't think will hold. I don't think it holds any weight to hold. I see this as just a trap, personally. Only problem being with GU is I don't see any signs of a bullish structure cycle. We have medium induced into the mitigation of this area, and we've started to push away from this. So I actually see more buys on GU. Only thing to be concerned about is this just isn't a range. That's kind of it. Is our last low that mitigated that extreme and kind of pushed away. I don't see anything here. Or you can kind of treat this as is inducement high, break and retest into this current internal range here, like so. And then you've got medium inducement here, not expecting this area to hold. So you would have a trap like that. Okay? I just don't like it. Because that's not my current 15-minute range. I don't even have an internal range working in this direction. Yeah, there's just nothing, unfortunately. So I just need this to get more sellers in. So realistically, I would like the medium inducement of this low to confirm this is a smart money trap. So GU, I think, is more likely to give us this, but just understand that in the first, 10 to 15 minutes of the session, creating a buy three here is valid. And if we kind of look, you've got this random news week, which just fucking makes it so hard to deal with. Yeah, we kind of can't anyway with what this has done. So GU is kind of off limits now anyway. But I do believe buys are valid. I just don't think it's going to provide. So I would rather this option here. Selling through this point, don't see as valid either. If we go up to a higher time frame, we've still got imbalance. We've still got things up there. We are in the 4-hour point, so we can just push away from this. But I think with EU being in its point, it's just not enough. So for me, I would like to see this gone. I think this will create a good enough inducement, but we did medium induce into this point. It just has not given what we want with this stupid wick. If this has created a structure cycle through this point, because we're in this point now, it'll just push through. You obviously got this break here, which didn't create points. And as you can see, it's just a crock of shit there. So buys make more sense here. And if we push away from here and come into an area like this one, I will be looking for the same type of entry. It's just a lot harder to get into because we're at the top of a range. So it's not actually highly likely for us to get an entry up that high. So realistically, we'll see what the 1 minute does close to open. This is the ideal entry, and the ideal entry spot up here I just don't think will hold. And this is a valid medium inducement into mitigation. I just feel like we need to come and take this low. Like I said, this is break and retest in this point of the extreme of this internal leg, because you kind of got low, break, retracement, internal structure cycle, kind of take of decisional and push, mitigation of extreme and push out, break and retest, push out. It's all pretty bad. I would just like to take this low where I'm open to a smart money trap entry. So this entry won't be here. It'll be more than likely like here. And that's what I'll kind of go for. But open to that on GU. AUDUSD. We're not in the extreme on the 15 minutes. I think we've got more imbalance to come and fill. So I'm going to be looking for buys. Only thing is we don't have a range. Nothing really took liquidity. So, God, this is ugly. I'm going to have this as my last break. So this is my low and this is my high. And I'm going to have this as area as my decisional. There's just no break of structure. There's obviously nothing in here. The area it's in shouldn't hold. So what I'm basically looking for is a take of this low to then buy up. There's just no structure here. It's very, very quite disgusting. We had obviously a take of liquidity here, push up, mitigation, and push out. Really small point here, which kind of didn't create anything. Yeah, I don't see a lot for AU. This is a medium inducement, so you can look to take a trade off of it. I imagine we still haven't even hit the higher time frame point yet. So yeah, AU is a bit difficult, but I would say we're still selling. So not much we can do with that, and that is completely fine. DXY has obviously broken, pulled all the way back into this area, and is kind of in the middle of no man's land as well. So nothing we can use in terms of the DXY as a extra confirmation for today, but I would like to buy EU through these points, or sell to buy, and then GU I would like to just buy. I think it's fine. If we take this low and kind of push up, you can do something, but I doubt it. I would like to take this low outside of Asia. It's the internal range. That's my internal range low, so it's a medium inducement. Much more better than that medium inducement. So that's the option here, and that's the option for EU. But other than that, we don't have great structure. EU is definitely the best by far, and we'll kind of have to just play that as we go. So we'll see. Any questions, drop them below. You've got premium links, all of that down below as well. And apart from that, we'll kind of see how we go today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.